This is Chris Ruddy, and I love Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truth Cast. Make sure you're tuning in just like I do every day, every week, every minute.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
We have Gene Valentino. He's a GOP political strategist and insider. And Madeline Summerville. She's a Democratic strategist. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having us.
Buckle up, folks. This is going to be explosive. I already know it with these two. President Trump, well, he keeps his promises to the American people, and this bill will benefit everyone in the country. Your thoughts on this, Gene?
Well, he has kept his promise. I think that's what, there's an old saying in business, you compete by differentiating. The American people had almost grown accustomed to being deceived or lied to. Surprise, Donald Trump stepped up and actually delivered. There's no small coincidence that the world players, the world actors, the other superpowers did not step up in particular with the recent happenings between Israel and Iran. Where's China? Where did Russia go with all these alliances they were creating without America, with Iran? They didn't step up to support Iran in the time of need. No, but we did with Israel, even when it was unpopular to do so, because we're a nation of principles. We stand by our principles, and our actions speak louder than our words.
Indeed. Well, Madeline, your thoughts in terms of President Trump's promises made, promises kept. I mean, he talked about, for example, with Iran, no more nukes for Iran. And he also talked about no more endless wars. So what are your thoughts?
Thank you all so much for having me back this morning. I see y'all already laughing. But listen, so actually I love what my colleague just said in terms of doing what was right, even though it wasn't popular. I think that's really cool. That's one of my favorite phrases. I do think that's what happened here with Iran. Now, when it comes to generally keeping his promises, where do I start? We said that we were going to deport the worst of the worst criminals first, right? And then we didn't do that. And then we made a comment that we were going to protect people who were good service people who had worked here for the last 25 years, who everybody loved. We decided to instead go to Home Depot parking lots. We've gone back and forth on a lot of the major policies that Donald Trump has implemented, and he's made comments that have indicated that he's going to take a slightly different direction in order to accommodate good human beings who've been here for a long time, and that hasn't happened yet. So I agree with my colleague to the extent that we did what was right even when it wasn't popular. Loved that. But when it comes to treating people like human beings, like I think he did the other day in that interview with the woman whose husband was from Ukraine, we haven't seen that happen here.
Interesting. Well, you're a trial attorney, and if you're going to put President Trump on trial, as many Democrats tried to, I think it's going to end up in another win for President Trump. But Czar Tom Holman also backed up the bill by explaining how much it would add to safety of our nation.
If we get this bill passed, we got more agents on the road. We buy more beds, we get more transportation flights. More agents means more bad guys arrested, taken off the streets of this country every single day.
Exactly. And the Kilmar, Abrego Garcia, Democrats wanted him back. But guess what? He's going to have to stand trial. And unfortunately, the American taxpayer has to pay for it. So the thing is, no matter what Democrats try, Gene, it tends to actually not only favor President Trump, but favor conservative values in the basics of keeping people safe. What say you?
Well, it is favoring Donald Trump, and yes, you would come to the conclusion that conservative values are being respected by the Supreme Court. But really, I think there's something more pervasive here. It's that the American people are fed up with what has not worked. If this former regime was so smart, the fundamental question is, how come we're not better off? And yeah, I can support my colleague's comment about some of the deportations not happening as quickly as possible. You know, I'm a pilot, and when you're flying in the air, I plan to leave at 9 o'clock. I hope to get there by 10, but all of a sudden, unbeknownst to me, a storm's coming in from the west. I have to zig and zag to make my destination safely. Now, the same is what's happened with Donald Trump. Here's a man who's dealing with an Israel-Iran conflict while he's trying to take out the terrorists in the United States and still support Tom Holman's needs, which are now before us in the budget reconciliation process. Yes, he hasn't swayed. He may have taken a breath to ensure his direction is correct, but I know one budget reformation issue that we could all consider. How about taking some of these TSA people and putting them to the border or elsewhere in ICE to mitigate some of the expenses Tom seeks. But as a congressman, and if I was a congressman, I'm going to be more anxious to support the guy or gal that has proven track record of success. True. Tom Holman's that guy.
Well, for sure, we have a lot of moving parts under President Trump. This is not an auto pen White House because he is handling everything, national, international. But Madeline, in terms of Tom Holman and the more resources for more agents and facilities and other aspects in terms of getting illegals out of our country, your comments in terms of this being in the bill and how the president, again, is keeping his promise.
Absolutely. I think it was very smart for them to pivot the discussion to funding resources at the border instead of discussing literally any other aspect of the bill, because this is one of the reasons why President Trump won, is because people wanted to deal with the issue at the border and the Democrats were not being honest about it. At the same time, right, the comments that President Trump has made throughout his campaigning were linking immigrants in general with being criminals, with coming from mental institutions. It was the trope that he repeated over and over and over again. And I think that it's made it easy to deport people who don't deserve to be when we have enacted these new policies. And so I'm concerned about the narrative that Donald Trump has put forth throughout his campaign, which is making it easier to do things like remove TPS protections and then deport people without giving them ample notice to leave, even if they've been here for years and built a family. So I would love if there could be a little bit more humanity and a little bit more transparency interjected into the conversation.
I hear you. But under President Trump, border crossings are down, and guess what else is up? Yesterday, NASDAQ closed at its highest since December 2024.
Wow, what a close we have here. Stocks moving higher today with the NASDAQ hitting its highest level since December of 2024. The S&P, its highest level since February. I mean, we're still settling out here for the S&P. It looks like we're closing just below a new all-time record. S&P and NASDAQ, as I mentioned, both closing a few points below their all-time closing highs. The NASDAQ 100, though, that did hit a fresh all-time intraday high, third day in a row there.
Look at that. The Dow's over 43,000. I know Madeline is looking at her statement. She's like, wow, this is awesome under President Trump. Promises made, promises kept. After all, the earlier panic by Democrats about tariffs and the economy shift, and it looks like things are back, Gene. Look at that big, beautiful smile that Madeline has.
I know. I'm enjoying it. You know, if here's what gets me on the budget process. It does, regardless of the concern over Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare, which seems to be a little bit of a glitch on the Senate side right now. We have a situation where there is not any consideration given to the waiting line of over 100 nations in the world that are anxious to do a deal, if they haven't done one already with Trump. This tariff revenue system is not in the ledger of the budget yet. And yet we've already experienced, on a cash basis, almost $2 trillion of revenues coming in from this tariff situation. I got to say one thing real briefly, if I may, about the border issue that Madeline and I were discussing. If Kamala Harris was president today, you would ask yourself the question, would there be the same situation on the border?
True.
Or globally. Madeline, your thoughts?
That was fair. Totally fair. Completely understand and agree.
Let's end it right there. No, I'm only teasing.
Fantastic. So, is the stock market up? Yes, that's true. It would be great if Democrats could just go, here are the facts. That's what happened, right? The stock market is up. Now, why has it happened? Well, Donald Trump has stopped talking about tariffs. That's a good thing, right? We're focusing on something else. Am I against tariffs in general? No, but it does cause turmoil and uncertainty in the market, and that's what's reflected from real life. Because there was so much uncertainty. Now, why else has that happened? Because of investment in the tech sector. And why are people investing in the tech sector? Because of Trump's support for companies like Palantir, because of his own meme coin, right? Because and by the way, y'all know if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris did anything like the meme coin that Donald Trump is doing, there would be an eruption. It would be craziness. So I think it's because of his shifting his focus into something that I think Americans view as something they can make money on, that has allowed the markets to shift. I'm glad the markets are shifting. You're right about that. That's true.
Gotcha. Well, the thing is that, there's another metric that lets you know that President Trump is doing so well. Democrats are actually talking about government-owned grocery stores in New York City. But we'll have to leave it there. Gene Valentino, Madeline Summerville, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
You got it.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.